Was this a good day or what? Michael Avenatti got arrested. Attorney Avenatti arrested, charged with bank fraud, extortion over alleged threats to Nike. Here's a picture of creepy porn lawyer himself with his client Stormy Daniels. I won't go over all the details, but Stormy Daniels and Michael Avenatti together put out the most disgusting rumors about President Trump and others. And Avenatti made threats constantly. He was just one of the most despicable characters in the smear job against President Trump, and he went down today. As we are all celebrating the demise of Michael Avenatti, we come to find out that he has a co-conspirator, and you'll never guess who that is. It's celebrity attorney Mark Geragos. Here he is here. Not only is he supposedly a human rights lawyer and a celebrity attorney, he's CNN's legal analyst and also represents Jussie Smollett. He also represents Colin Kaepernick. You remember Colin Kaepernick and his antics with taking a knee? This issue divided America. It struck right at the heart of America, going for football and the flag in one fell swoop. That's Geragos, Geragos' client. And now we find out that he and Michael Avenatti have been partners in some of this stuff, especially when it concerns Nike. Nike is the company that supported Kaepernick by making him the star of their advertising campaign. Believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. Do you remember that? And everybody scratched their heads. Why would a corporation get involved on that side, on any side of an issue like that, let alone take that side? Well, now we know. He was represented by Geragos, who was partners with Avenatti. Let me just point out one more thing. Geragos is also the lawyer for Claire Bronfman in the NXIVM scandal, the NXIVM trial. Celebrity lawyer Mark Geragos joins Claire Bronfman's defense team. You remember NXIVM? That's where they brand the women. Allison Mack is involved. There's sex trafficking charges, possible child sex trafficking charges. There's Claire Bronfman there. Claire Bronfman of the Bronfmans, Seagram's Liquor, Warner Entertainment, and all kinds of other things. Wow. But I have more information for you. I have some guesses about who will be next in this takedown of the dark side. And it all revolves around research I did this weekend. Research that I was struggling with because I didn't have any reason to present it to you guys that made any sort of sense at the time. And then boom, this hits and I can show it all to you now. And get ready, this is really something. First, I have to plant this in your head. Something Michael Avenatti tweeted out May 2018. It was this. Michael Avenatti says, "Warning ignored, so here goes." This is a picture, set of pictures here from December 12th, 2016 at Trump Tower. Details to follow, says Avenatti in his typical threatening way. What we're looking at here is a picture of Trump's disgraced lawyer there, Michael Cohen. This is General Michael Flynn. And this supposedly is a guy from Qatar. Mother Jones says, Qatari investor accused in bribery plot appears with Michael Cohen in picture posted by Stormy Daniels' lawyer. The photos include a person who appears to be al-Rumehi, who in late 2016 and 2017 was part of an aggressive Qatari effort to forge ties with members of the Trump administration. It has not previously been reported that Qataris, including al-Rumehi, met with Cohen in December 2016. Avenatti later followed up with another tweet asking why Cohen was meeting with al-Rumehi and Michael Flynn, Trump's former national security advisor. Right, what's that all about? Well, we'll get back to that in a minute. To properly understand what's going on here, I have to remind you of a detail. Let's look at Mark Geragos' Twitter bio. And you see here it says he's CNN legal analyst. And it also says he's stakeholder in something called Big Three. The founders of Big Three are these two here, Ice Cube and somebody called Jeff Kwatinetz. This says Jess, I'm sorry. I don't know why I put that. It's Jeff. Why is Jeff Kwatinetz on my radar screen? Just because he's partners, that Geragos is, a stakeholder in that company? Oh no. I just found that out minutes ago, which makes this all the sweeter. Who is Jeff Kwatinetz? This is Kwatinetz, and who is he? Well, he's formerly the owner of the firm Talent Management. It's a big long story about that, about how he elbowed a guy called Michael Ovitz out of the entertainment business completely. Well, sort of. He ended up buying that business at rock bottom prices, and he got the clients to go with it. That's supposedly his start in that business, way back. Let's have a look at some of Kwatinetz's early clients and see what's become of them. Chris Cornell was a client of the firm. He was from Soundgarden, and he was found hanging from a doorknob May 18th, 2017. Chester Bennington from Linkin Park was a Kwatinetz client, hanging from a doorknob July 20th, 2017. Devin Davis, this is the wife of the lead singer of Korn. Korn was Kwatinetz's very first client. Well, she was found dead of an overdose August 18th, 2018. Scott Weiland from the Stone Temple Pilots, dead of an overdose December 3rd, 2015. Rob Static from Static X, overdose November 1st, 2014. And Brittany Murphy was not only managed by Kwatinetz, but she was engaged to him as well. She subsequently broke up with him, married a guy called Simon Monjack. Both Brittany Murphy and Simon Monjack died in very strange circumstances. A couple of other interesting clients of Kwatinetz. Martin Lawrence. Do you remember when he broke down way back and he ran into the street saying, "They're trying to kill me, they're trying to kill me, fight the establishment"? Well, I find that a little odd. He's also had other problems. In the list on the screen, too, you'll see I've highlighted in yellow a few of the other clients of the firm and Jeff Kwatinetz that have been in the news for various reasons that aren't very good. Take special note of R. Kelly and Robert De Niro, those who scream the loudest. Robert De Niro has certainly been extremely vocal against President Trump. Coincidence? Kwatinetz has, in my opinion, presided over the careers of some disastrous lives, as you can see. I wonder what role he had in it. Incidentally, Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell, at the time of their deaths, were working on a film together. Here's a tweet from an open secret. Chris Cornell was the main financial backer for a documentary, The Silent Children, about sex trafficking. After he died, the project was canceled. Chester Bennington was going to appear in the documentary. His band Linkin Park was going to contribute music. Chris and Vicky Cornell had this foundation, which focused on helping children recover from trauma and abuse. Both died in the same year, hanging from a doorknob, within a few months of one another. Very suspicious. There's an area here which I'll briefly touch on because it's long and involved, but Kwatinetz was involved in the sale of Warner Music to a new investor. This is from Bronfman, to a new investor, and that investor is Len Blavatnik. Blavatnik also is an investor, a director of aluminum giant UC Rusal. Blavatnik was born and raised in the Soviet Union. His longtime business partner, U.S.-sanctioned oligarch Viktor Vekselberg, owned a large stake in Rusal, which is owned by fellow oligarch Oleg Deripaska. You might or might not recognize those names. But these are the very people that the bad guys, the black hats, the deep state, these are the very people, especially Oleg Deripaska, that they are accusing Trump and Trump Jr. of colluding with. These Russian oligarchs. But they have a much more direct connection to Jeff Kwatinetz, who, as I showed you, has a direct connection to Mark Geragos and Michael Avenatti. The plot thickens. There's another funny thing about Kwatinetz's talent management company. He closed the firm in 2008, but reactivated again in August 2015, right about when people might have started ramping up their campaigns for the 2016 election. Funny enough, he deactivated again in 2017, right after the inauguration of Donald Trump, when all hope was lost. What did he do right after that? Jeff Kwatinetz. Where did he go for work after he closed the firm for the final time? You'll never guess. Kwatinetz ankles the firm to join Geragos's law firm. Boom. So I think Jeff Kwatinetz might be pretty close to being next on the chopping block. But just in case it isn't him, I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit and give you another likely character. This fella. See this baby? That's supposed to be Jeff Kwatinetz's baby. This is his wife's Instagram account. And you'll notice it says, Brooklyn learning to fly with Godfather Jay Heilman. That's Jay Heilman. Who is Jay Heilman? John Heilman is an American journalist and national affairs analyst for NBC News and MSNBC. With Mark Halperin, he co-authored Double Down and Game Change, books about presidential campaigning. Heilman has formerly been a staff writer for New York, Wired, and The Economist. He might be a good guy to know if you want to get stories that are negative to your political opponents out into the papers. Right? And he's godfather of Jeff Kwatinetz's baby. What else about this guy? John Heilman with Michael Avenatti? That's right. John Heilman has a show called The Circus on Showtime. And Michael Avenatti features in it. Just doesn't get any better than this. Just to drive the point home, here's John Heilman's Instagram. Here he is with Amy Klobuchar a few days ago. Here he is with Beto O'Rourke a day ago. And on March 9th, he's there with Mayor Bill de Blasio. The swamp. These are some serious swamp creatures. Where will it go next? I don't know. There's got to be way more characters that I never caught on to, but I just found it astounding that I spent my weekend looking into the background of some guy I'd never heard of, Jeff Kwatinetz. And then this happens. One of the things I found when I was looking him up was this really weird story that I didn't understand, and it relates back to what I said you should remember for later. You remember this Michael Avenatti tweet about Flynn and Cohen and some meeting with a Qatari? Well, I was researching Kwatinetz and I found this. Former Korn manager Jeff Kwatinetz claims he and Ice Cube were involved in bizarre political bribery plot. So he started this thing called Big Three, and that's the thing that Geragos is a stakeholder in. They started this thing called Big Three. It's a 3-on-3 basketball league. And the Qataris want to invest in it. So they come over, they say they're going to invest $1.7 billion or $1 million or something into this thing. And they're talking to Kwatinetz, and Kwatinetz alleges that they were never interested in the Big Three at all. All they wanted to do was get in contact with Steve Bannon. You see, Jeff Kwatinetz and Steve Bannon, they worked on that merger I mentioned earlier, or that buyout, taking all the business away from a guy called Michael Ovitz in Hollywood way back in the 90s. Steve Bannon, yes, that Steve Bannon, brokered that deal or pushed that deal through with Jeff Kwatinetz. So they know each other. And I think they've worked together quite a bit since then. So that's a big question mark. Here's the article where Kwatinetz alleges that Mr. Al-Ruhmeihi would bring up Mr. Bannon's name to me and comment about Mr. Bannon's political positions, his views on the blockade into Qatar, the Trump administration's position towards Qatar, and he persistently inquired about wanting to meet with Mr. Bannon. Kwatinetz says he was appalled at the idea of receiving a bribe of any kind because he's now saying the Qataris were not actually investors in Big Three, but they were trying to pay him off to put him in contact with Mr. Bannon and therefore gain access, they thought, to the White House. I mean, Bannon was out of the White House very early on, so I'm not sure how that would work. But are you starting to see why maybe Bannon was ejected? With friends like Jeff Kwatinetz? Interesting. I'll leave it all up to you to join the dots together, because I'm going to stop talking now. One more quick thing before I go, though. I have to say, I was thrilled over the weekend that Roseanne uploaded a portion of my video about Media Matters. It's about the attack on Tucker Carlson, and it says, did somebody say pizza on the thumbnail? She took 10 minutes of that and she put it on her channel. Roseanne Barr! I was so stoked. I was over the moon. I didn't know what to say. I was blushing. Thank you to all the people who let me know about that, and also who commented and said nice things about me under that video. And thank you so much, Roseanne. You are a hero of mine. You are a genius. You are hilarious. I love your heart. I love your bravery. You just put it out there. You put yourself out there. And I want to just say, in case you're listening, which totally blows my mind because you obviously sometimes do, thank you. Do not let those smear campaigners get you down. They're all the same. And good people see right through it. Trust me, we do. We did from the beginning. I know it hurts. I know it kills. I've been there myself. For whatever reason, the lies about you, it's like you just can't stand it. You want to extinguish them. I know. I understand. But forget them. Okay, that's it. Until next time, peace out.